So, thanks everyone for being here. We're going to start. We have 1 hour and time flies when you're having fun. So we're going to start. Welcome and thanks heaps for being here in this session. I'm shortly going to introduce myself and then I will give the floor to Andra. So I'm Axel. I'm the founder of Droify. I have been a graphic recorder for 11 years now. And I really want to help people to collaborate and communicate in a better way. And I also want to get rid of bad meetings. And as a graphic recorder, I know there are more bad meetings than good meetings. So I'm also looking forward to this session. With Droify, we want to help everyone in the world to work more visually without having to draw yourself if you don't feel confident enough. So it's a platform. Maybe some of you know it already, and if you don't know it, I invite you to get to know it. And behind the platform, there are also more than 35 graphic recorders who feed the platform the whole time. And we also want to inspire people to become better visual storytellers and better visual thinkers. And to inspire you and to make you even better and smarter in it, we organize these kind of sessions. So every month, once or twice a month, we organize these sessions where you were invited to learn from Droify artists, but also from very enthusiastic users like we have today. So I met Andra. She is a Droify user, and she was so enthusiastic that we got in touch. And that she proposed to do a session, and she's really inspiring. She's helping teams to collaborate better, to do that in a more playful and more meaningful way. I learned that she's from Romania, but lives in Austria. And well, I saw already a little part of what she's going to do today, and I'm really, really excited about it. So I won't take any more time, and I will give the floor to Andra. So, Andra.
Thank you, Axel. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you guys for coming and for writing in the chat why you came. I know some of you are from all around the world. I saw in the chat, and I know some of you personally. So thank you all of you for coming. It's really, really nice to have you here. The session today will be a 1 hour, very focused session, and it will be, let's say, maybe different than what you are used to. I will just try to share my screen and have a direct look on the purpose of today. So the scope of the session will be to practice 3 very simple techniques that will help you turn pointless meetings into meetings with concrete outcomes. Hopefully, this was also the title that attracted you to come here. So this is exactly what we will do. At the end, we will give you a free workbook and the cheat sheet that you have it with you for all the meetings that you might have from now on. And also a brand new Miro template. I will share it with you at the end, that you can take it in any meeting and use it. It's in Miroverse, so it's even if you have a free Miro account, you can use it. And before we go forward, I would ask you, we will need it one moment in time. If you can take some pen and paper, would be useful at one moment in time, because we will also do some reflections and also some kind of experiment, so you might need it. Another thing to set the stage would be that this session will be interactive, but in a silent way, meaning that there will be a lot of silent exercises that will bring you in the reflection mode and will help everybody to hear your voices using sticky notes from Miro. So it can be that for some of you who didn't use this technique so far, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, and you will probably at one moment in time also see what is the benefit of this method. So now let's go in Miro. I will put in the chat the link to Miro board, and I will invite you there. You don't need an account for it. It's open for all the visitors. And we have prepared for you a nice Miro board, which is using actually one of the templates from Droify in Miroverse. So this is why it looks so nice, not because I draw by hand, it's because I cannot draw yet, something like that. And I will invite you to go to the connection area, because right now we are a lot of people. We will not use breakout rooms. I want to give you really simple methods on how you can engage people in meetings and how you can get tangible outcomes. So the first thing that I will invite you to do, of course, if you like to, would be to connect with everybody, because I see here experts from all around the world, and it would be really nice, maybe within and or after the session, to just connect with each other. If you want to share your LinkedIn or any other link to your website and what you can help with. Yeah, so would be really interesting to get to know each other. And I will really encourage you to use this link also after the meeting. Maybe some nice connections are happening here tonight, so or in the morning, depends where you are. So I will invite you to do that. And whenever you have like a break in between, you can go back then and just connect with each other. For the ones who do not know how to use in Miro Joyfy, I will just, while you're right there, put it. So you go in the Miro, in the apps, and you have here Joyfy images, and you can just click there something. For example, I want a coffee cup, or and I have a lot of coffee cups and different ways of drinking coffee that I can add here. It's an app, you can use it for free in Miro, and it's really, really helping to bring some visuals there. I will show you at one moment in time also how I use it. And yeah, it was nice to discover it one time on LinkedIn by surprise, let's say. So thank you for checking in there. Really loving you that you do that. Please continue whenever you have a moment free. Some things I will let them cover for the moment, because I want to uncover them one by one. So you cannot mess it up too much, but a little bit you can. So to my report. Okay. Nice, guys. The first thing that we will do will be an experiment, because I would like to reflect a little bit on how the meetings are happening. And to do that, I will invite you to look to one picture for 12 seconds. I'm also sharing the screen, but if you want, you can also do that directly in Miro. You choose how you want to do it. So for this, I will grab you all to me in Miro. That means that if you are typing now, I will bring you to me, and you cannot type anymore for the moment, because I want to move forward to the next step of this. So I will show you a picture for 12 seconds, and I will invite you to just read what is written there. Please do not use pen and paper for this, and then I will guide you through. So just take it as an experiment, because it is an experiment, and I will share then something about it, okay? So let me grab everybody to me here. So, okay, we have 23, 24 people in Miro. I will just uncover this, and I will invite you to just read what is there. Okay, so I will cover it back. And now I will invite you to take some pen and paper. If you don't have pen and paper, you can also use a notepad in the, on the laptop, and write down the words that you can remember. Whatever you remember from what you saw there, please write it down on your paper, okay? I will make silent for that. Okay, please stop writing. And now I will uncover again, and I will invite you to check how many words did you remember from what you saw comparing to what you wrote down. It can be that you remember some other words that were actually not theirs, and I will invite you to write in the chat how many words did you remember. We will use today a lot the chat. I don't want to use Mentimeter or other things. I want to keep it simple so that it's easy for everybody to just connect. So I see the first number coming, 3, 6, 3, 6, 5, 7, 7, 6, 7. Thank you for sharing. 8 bold twice. Yeah, I mean, some people do remember some words which are not there. Thank you for sharing. Why I wanted to ask you this, because I will share after in the email that Axel will send you, I will share with you a study that was done by a psychologist many years ago, and he was studying like how the human brain works and how much we can memorize. And out of his study, he made this like exercise that I did now with you, with many people. And he found out that actually, if you remembered less than 5 words, probably you were not very attentive. If you remember between 5 and 8, then you have like the normal memory, let's say, of somebody who has not practiced it very, very much. But if you are like more than 9, then probably either you have a natural good memories or you're very lucky, either you practice it a lot. Just that you know, doesn't mean anything. Let's say all the time, even if I did it so many times, around 5 to 6, so it's really bad because I don't practice it, because I don't like to memorize things. And why did I ask you to do that? What is the connection with the meetings? Let me just go back and share something else. So this is also created with Drawify. I created a picture that would symbolize what happens in a meeting. Imagine that you are in a meeting and somebody says something about the topic, let's say is data point A. And then somebody else comes and say, well, I would like to talk about data point B. And somebody else says, well, but data point H2, it's really important for me. And somebody else says, well, data point C, it's really something that we need to discuss today at this time. So this is probably you can identify, relate yourself with that. Let me know in the chat if so. Sometimes it happens that people are coming with different topics, that sometimes people are writing on their own notes, but nobody knows what the other one wrote. And at the end, you either have another meeting or you don't have any outcome, or let's say you don't remember what actually happened during the whole meeting because okay. Yeah, I will ask you to mute yourself.
I will do it, Andra. I will
Super.
mute
Thank
that
you.
person. Mute,
Super.
I mean.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. And yeah, while you have such a meeting flow, suddenly your brain like do not remember what happened, like from the beginning of the meeting until the end. You cannot remember everything, so you're lost by the end of the meeting, and that's normal, right? Because we are not supposed to remember everything, everybody what said, and so on. So this is what brings me this experiment to the secret number 1. I called it secret in this case because it's more engaging. And this is about the fact that discussions are visualized. This is a very important point that I would like to bring awareness today in this webinar here. So why is that? Because while your brain doesn't have to memorize what the people are talking in the meeting, you're actually focused on the content, like understanding what the other ones are saying instead of thinking, oh, what did this and this person said, right? So this is the secret number 1. And because I promised you that you will practice, we will also go now and practice one of the points here. And thank you for helping me to uncover this. That's the practice that we will do right now. So I will just bring everybody to me in Miro. So if you didn't use Miro so far, don't be afraid. I will bring you to me so that you're not lost on the big Miro board there. And before we do that, I will just ask you to listen to understand what are the instructions of this. The exercise is called 5 for 5. Why? Because it takes 5 minutes, and I will ask you to write minimum 5 sticky notes, like minimum 5 ideas, and answer to the question, how might you use visualization in your meetings? Which methods could you use, right? There are many, many methods, and when I did first trial of this webinar, I heard really some things that I never thought about. That's why it's really, really a very nice exercise. After you write there, I will also share a little bit more of how I use visualization. I want to know what are your thoughts about that, because this is the main idea, to collect now some information about what are your thoughts. Why we are doing this exercise? Because we want to practice how visualization is working in a meeting with, we are 37 people now in the call. So how you can do that? You can do that with 3 or 5 or 100 or 200 or how many people you have. Doesn't matter. You just create the means of helping the people to do so. So how we will do it? I will invite you to just double click, if you never use Miro, a sticky note, and write something there like, how do you actually use visualization, and so on. So you can just put some words there or small phrases. I will invite you now to do that and encourage you to do that. It will be a silent exercise. So I will invite you not to open your mic, but to take the time to write down. And I will put some music that it's not so uncomfortable, the silence. So I will do that right away. Just need to make sure that I'm sharing the sound. So we will take 5 minutes and I will start the clock on Miro for that. Okay, I see some people stopped and are reading already. So I will invite you to still write. I know 5 minutes might feel a little bit long, but that's the idea, to see how much you can write in 5 minutes. So, and then we will take time to read, right? So take your time. So you will hear a sound soon. If you are not used to Miro, that's a sound where it's saying that the time is over soon. So I will invite you to just close the writing now and finish your sticky notes. I'm really happy that we really filled in all of this here. So that was the sound from. Thank you so much for writing so much. And now we will take around 1 minute to read them through, and then I will guide you. So let's get some inspiration, because I'm pretty sure that you're now curious to see, wow, I mean, there are a lot of sticky notes that all of you wrote in 5 minutes. So let's read them, and then we will do the next step, and then we will reflect a little bit, because you might need some time to do this as well. So I will invite you just to read them through, also in silence, and I will just put 1 minute here in Miro to go through them and play some music to it. So let's just read them. Okay, so time will be up soon. I'll let you finish the last sticky notes reading. And don't worry if you didn't go through all of them. You will still have some time now in the next step. Okay, so this was the 5 of 5. And you have collected now in 5 minutes. Look on how many ideas you have collected in one word in 5 minutes. And imagine if this would be 10 for 10, you will have like 10 minutes 10 persons, and then you will get 100 ideas in 10 minutes. So comparing to how much you would discuss in meetings and, you know, kind of like argumentation and so on, this is like very less time and quite efficient. Now, what I would like to exercise now, and some of you know that already, some of you maybe it's the first time that you deal with such thing. It's about how to take a decision. It's just a simple practice, yeah. Normally, it will be like in between another step that everybody will maybe have a look if there are like ideas which are very similar or even the same, and then we will like cluster them or delete them. We will not do that in this step, but it might be that when you do kind of a real meeting, then you might need to go through that step. Depends also on the audience that you have. So what I will invite you now is to look, I will bring you to the deciding dots. There are many ways on how you can decide. This is the easiest way. Yeah, this is why I wanted to bring you today. That's also in Miro, an embedded feature on how to decide with anonymous voting. This one that I will show you now, it's using visualization. It's just some circles, right? So you find them here. So it's not a rocket science. Every time you can just make a circle, do whatever color you want. Make sure that you also think about colors, because, you know, you want to help people who cannot do the difference between red and green and so many different, let's say, shades and so on. So they care about that as well. So what I wanted to invite you now is everybody of you has, I think we are having enough dots. We are 38 people, 3 points, so 3 dots, and this will be your decision dots. Let me explain you what is that. So now I will invite you to go through again quickly, because you read them already, to all the sticky notes and put your 3 dots on the ideas that you like most. So when you think about how might you use visualization in meetings, maybe you find some inspiration that you didn't even think until now to use it. So I will invite you to just put 3 dots on whatever sticky notes you want. You can also put 3 on one, you can put on yours. There are no rules. The only rule is to put only 3 dots. And yeah, just we will take 1 minute for that, and I will invite you to just put the dots there, and then we will continue. And this will be also in silence. So 1 minute for that. Okay, thank you for putting the dots. You can still move them around. That's not a problem. At least this time there was not a big red dot going on the whole screen. So I don't know how you managed not to do that so far, but it's still time. That's the funny thing when using these dots. So there are a lot of dots there. Probably I will rearrange them a little bit after the session. What I wanted to show you now, it's what you can do in 1 minute, right? So you had a lot of ideas. In a real meeting, can be even concepts, can be like pain points, can be anything, right? So, and I wanted to give you a method on how you can decide very shortly upon how you can like bring the group decision towards what's the most important for them, because these thoughts are your voice, and bring the group preferences upon what is most relevant for them. And it's important, if you ever facilitate that, to ask the audience also to be mindful about, because if it's like a really important decision, then it's a good idea to take your time, maybe more than 1 minute, like we had now in the practice session, to give them more time to think through and be mindful about where do they actually put their thoughts. Now, I would like to take some time to reflect, because we did this exercise, which is called 5 for 5. And again, this can be like 10 for 10, 15 for 15, whatever combinations. I even did like 3 for 3, whatever time you have, and you know what you want to obtain in that meeting or in that session that you facilitate. By the way, I express myself in a way that you probably want to facilitate meetings, but you don't need to be a facilitator, right, to do that, because maybe some of you were experiencing some meetings that were not organized by them, or that you actually do not know how to facilitate. And this is why you are here. You can like learn very simple steps on how to do that. And you can all the time just ask for permission. Hey, I see that you're like talking a lot about this topic, and I would like to help you to visualize it. May I do that? So just simple question, ask for permission, and then you can either use Miro, you can just use like a physical board with normal sticky notes. There are these red dots, which are not only red, but you find them in all the possible colors and so on. There are many ways. There are also a lot of anonymous way or argumentation ways and so on. I will put in the resources and show you at the end other ways of taking decisions. This is just a simple way on how you can do that right. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So, and after you collected all of this in the 5 for 5 exercise, you decided on what are the ideas which you want which you find the best ones. And it's easy to see, because even though some sticky notes are overlapped, doesn't matter. You see already that there are some areas which all this group today like the most, right? So this is what you can also do in any kind of meeting, to either take the decision, or there is the other way of like getting to know what is the group preferences. After we did that, I would like to reveal the secret number 2, which is to hear all voices. Because what we did right now was that all your voices were heard through these little sticky notes. So you didn't have to talk, but I hope that you feel involved because you were participating in the Miro board. So all your voices were heard while doing this exercise, not only collecting ideas, but also deciding on which ideas do you like most. And yes, this might be different, like the silent work, than the normal discussion and so on. But it's a very, very powerful way on how you can do very fast. You can take decisions fast. You can also like bring people together and bring all the perspectives together very fast. And again, that's a simple way. There are many, many methods. Of course, some of you, I know you know them. So there are like a lot of more advanced ones, but I wanted to bring really simple ones that you can use in any kind of session that you have, any meeting, any topic, any industry, let's say, right? So it's nothing complicated there. And maybe you say, "How? But my situation is different." So if you have such things, then we will come to the how, to the questions a little bit later on, and I would really love to hear your questions there. Okay. So before we go forward, I would like to invite you to reflect a little bit before we go to secret number 3. And I will bring you everybody to me. So your mouse will move now, and I will do that on Miro. And I would like to invite you to reflect. That's a wow moment, because in this 1 hour when everything works quite fast, right? You took the time to come today to this webinar, and I don't want you to leave before also reflecting on what you did in this part. It's not the only reflection, but I want to stop for a moment that you hear your thoughts without me talking, and write down what was an aha moment, what do you want to take so far with you, what ideas did you like so far, and where else do you think you can use what you just saw right now. And I will invite you to do that. The reason why we use this reflection moment in silence is because there are many people, and I'm one of the examples, which cannot think while somebody is talking. So I will put some music and let you 2 minutes to do that. So the clock is running on my board, and I will put some music for that. Okay, I see that you enjoy this, so I will add 1 more minute. Maybe you can just finalize your sticky notes and also read what the other people wrote there to get some inspiration. Thank you so much. The beep, it's coming to us. So in order to move forward, we'll go forward with the webinar. But whenever you want to still add there, I will invite you. I see a lot of love Drawify. I love the visualization. So Axel, a lot of people will get in love with Drawify like I did as well. Thank you so much for writing the wow moments there. I'm really enjoying reading them. And before we go forward, as we said, we have 3 secrets to reveal. Now we need to reveal the 3rd one, but I don't want to. I want to ask you after a short recap. So the first secret is that discussions are visualized, that you can actually visualize the discussion and also to do that in a structured way, of course. The second one that all the voices are heard. And I want to ask you now, before I reveal it, what do you think the secret number 3 is? Maybe you can write in the chat. I give you a hint. We use it already many times today. So looking forward to see some messages. Minimal conversation, facilitation, together but alone. The worshiper masters are here with the together but alone. Okay. This is for the ones who do not know. It's this kind of simple method of using silence while doing something that we work together on something. It's called together but alone. Silent parallel play, timing all activities, dot voting, tangible action plan, engaging, ask reflective questions, time boxing, lots of engagement. Thank you for your answers. They are all fine, okay? It's not like something is wrong or something. They all fit, right? The one thing that I wanted to bring attention to you as the secret number 3, and I saw that some people already answered about it, is about time boxing the discussion. Yes. All the other ones, of course, are also important. I just wanted to select 3 for today. And these 3 are also, like in the booklet that we will share, very in detail explained. Why did I wanted to bring attention towards the time boxing? And we did it yesterday a lot of times. It's because in some of the meetings that you might have participated, some people are talking more than the other ones, and we want to make it in a structured way. Let's suppose that you don't have a silent exercise, but you want to make, for example, a round robin when people are talking 2 minutes each, and you probably, if you facilitate that, you will ask, hey, Andra, now you talk, now Nati, you talk, and now Alex, you talk, and so on. So bringing people in a structured way that would not only help them to hear their voices, but also give opportunity to everybody in the room to talk, not only the loudest voice in the room or the manager or somebody who wants to give the opinion in a very, very long way. So that's the secret number 3. And what we will do right now, I will really invite you to put some questions. I already copied one from the chat here, and this is the how area of the webinar today. I will bring you there. What we will do now, we will take 1 minute for writing the questions. We will not answer right away because I want to go forward. And then we will, depending on the time is left, we will answer to all your questions. Axel and me said that we will stay if it's needed to just record all the answers. So no worries, we like to answer to the questions. So let's take 1 minute. Your question can be upon the practices that you saw today, can be about facilitation, can also be about design sprints, legal serious play, whatever you want, I'm fine to answer. It's about facilitation in general, then I'm able to answer. So yeah, we will take 1 minute for that, and I will play some music, and we will do that again in silence. So time is passing very fast, so I will invite you to uh, finish your questions. We will come back to them right away. Thank you for writing them there. You don't need to vote on them, but if you want to move dots around, that's perfectly fine. It's okay, Frederica, if you want to do that. What I would like now to do is, before we answer to the questions, to show you some resources, because some of the questions are answered in the resources for sure. So let me just come here. First of all is the download of the book. I will put it in the chat, but you will also get it with the email from Axel after the session. Also for the ones of you who will look to the recording, don't worry, you will get it there. The second one is a very, very, very lovely Miro verse template that Axel did, and it's really useful and easy to use. I will put it there. Kindly asking if you like it, give us a heart here. It's helping this template to be seen by many, many people. It's the meeting canvas. This is what we promised, the template. And you can use it in any of the meetings that you have, change it. You can use Drawify if you want to add other pictures there, and tell us how you like it. Then another thing that we wanted to share, and I will not put all the links now in the chat, not to bother you with all the links. It's another way on how to take decisions. It's an unnatural but very efficient way. Some of you already asked, how can we get to the point, because we are 35 people here, and the 3 dots maybe are not, let's say, the best way to do that. Here it's a method which is called the straw poll voting. You'll find it there with a visualization that we created with Drawify, and you have all the steps and kind of like facilitator hints and everything. And it's a method that you can use when you want people to also give arguments upon why do you choose these, and you hear all voices in a structured way. So it's also with talking, yeah? So this method is with talking. If you want to read more upon the method that we use, the 5 for 5, here it's described the 10 for 10. It's like, of course, how you can get 100 ideas in 10 minutes without discussing for hours. And another resource, it's about how to switch your mindset in 2 seconds from thinking in problems to thinking in solutions. That's also, it's called How Might We Questions. Disclaimer here, you might want to look to the problem cause before you go to this, let's say, rephrasing it. And whenever you have a topic or a meeting, it's relevant to decide if you want to look on the cause before you go into like solving it, to make sure that you look to that point as well. So you have all the resources there, and they will be also afterwards shared with you. Because time is running, before we answer to the questions, I would like to take another reflection moment and ask you, after you saw all the secrets that we revealed today, which are not more secrets, after you practiced, you had some reflection time, and you got inspiration because there are a lot of people here, and you gave really nice ideas there. I would like to ask you, how was the session? To finish the sentence, this session was like, and it's a little bit of a feedback on how you found this session, even though you didn't talk too much, but you were involved all the time. And I will invite you here and put 1 minute for that as well, and some nice music to reflect on. Thank you for sharing, and feel free to still do it. We are happy to see how you like the session, and I'm happy that you enjoyed it so far. The time will be over soon, and I will hand over shortly to Axel. Then we will come back to answer to your questions. So just stop sharing for one moment. Axel, back to you for a moment.
Yeah, we're going back to the responses of the questions in a minute, but I know that some people will leave at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
and we will run out probably by answering the questions because we like to take our time for that. So before everyone runs out, or at least some people run out, I want to thank Andra a lot for this session. This was probably one of the most structured, well-organized sessions I have seen
Thank you.
a long time. So that was amazing. Wow. You're really, really great. So there were even people asking if you could do the same in their company. So, so I'm really grateful for Andra. And if you want to thank her and you want to do yourself a pleasure and her a pleasure, I invite you, if you're considering taking a plan on Droify, there's a link that gives you a discount and that gives Andra the credits. So if after this session you're interested in having a paid plan at Droify, which by the way starts at 99 euros a year, so which is not so expensive, I think, you can have a discount by using the link that's in the chat. So if you want to help Andra, she gets also free credits for that, then I kindly invite you to use that link when you would subscribe. So that's, and then for the rest, I invite you to take a look at our webinar page on the Droify page, because then you can see the other sessions that are coming months and weeks. So, and then I'm happy to go back to the questions and to answer them. And by the way, if you go away before we end completely, thank you a lot for being here. But we're going to answer the questions that were.
Yeah, thank you, Axel, and thank you, everybody. Just a quick, maybe, I don't know if somebody knows like how Droify actually looks. I just wanted to share shortly my screen. This is one of the templates that I used from Droify itself. And you have there like templates that you can reuse, many templates. Yeah, so there's a lot of nice drawings there. Also, I will let here on the board if you want to see some examples on how I use Droify and visualization in general, right? To workshops, agenda, instructions, even matrices, or just some presentations. So now back to the questions.
Yeah, to give an idea, there are 150 templates and we are adding every week new templates in the Hero version. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. And if you have a paid license, one thing that I really like a lot is when you ask for a new drawing, somebody will draw it for you. I mean, if you don't find what you need there, and this is like really nice. So,
yeah, that's in the Hero plan, by the way. It's only in the Hero plan.
Yeah.
To have a Hero plan. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the questions. We will answer to all of them. For the ones who have to leave earlier, we would like to say thank you and really nice for you to come. For the ones who have will look to the recording, you can contact me anytime and ask if you want to know more about what we did here from facilitation perspective or from Droify perspective, Axel.
Yeah.
So let's see what we have. The first question, it's about the majority vote, like the fast dot voting. It's simple, but mostly not leading to buy-in for everybody. And this is why I also showed you in the resources, you have this straw poll vote where you actually can hear the arguments of all the people which are participating, and in this way all the voices are heard. And maybe you can also get like inspiration with this method of what other ones are like, why it's that thing important for them, and then it's easier for yourself to decide as well. So this is the first question. Probably I will just make it another color so that I know that we went through. You're a Miro here. Okay, thank you. I still have to do work on that. How to use really Droify.
That's a long answer.
Yes,
Yes,
I let it to you.
how we use it today here is, of course, in combination with Miro. There were a few questions about it. First of all, you can access Drawify without registering on Drawify on Miro. So there's a direct link and you get access to 700 drawings without being a registered Drawify user. But if you want to change drawings, compose new drawings, use templates, change colors, have much more access to much more drawings and templates, you can register on Drawify, and then you have a direct link between your account and Miro, and that gives, of course, a lot more opportunities. And then Drawify is mostly used to create visuals, templates, presentations for people who like the hand-drawn style without having to draw themselves. Yeah. So, and how to use it? Well, I can talk a whole day about it, so I'm not going to hijack this session. But always
Me too, yeah.
connect with me, ask whatever you want. I'm here. I'm always happy to help.
Yeah, and it's very intuitive because I didn't get any training on it, but I just found my own way there. So yeah, it's easy to use from my perspective, at least. How might you use other methods to reach tangible outcomes? Of course, there are many methods here today. We focus on the most easier ones. You have in the resources the link to this and to other articles from my Substack. If you want, of course, it's also free to just subscribe it. You will find there are many other methods on how to get tangible outcomes, how to vote, how to include everybody, how to get trust in teams, and so on. So for sure you will find an answer, and if you don't find it, please contact me. I'm happy to support. Short answer is depends on what outcome you need. Based on the outcome, you create a session, you design it, and also depends on who is there, like who is your audience. Then, of course, it's a different design. Okay, have you used Miro? I forgot to put it to kind of another color. Just to get it through. How you use Miro for a face-to-face meeting? How does it work? Okay, so when there are many people here, maybe you have different opinions. How I'm doing it, I don't use Miro if we are face-to-face because I want to exclude the digitalization if we are face-to-face. What I do, I like to double my instructions. So I use either Miro or Drawify to create instructions as well in a nice visualized way. I print them and I bring them with me to the session, right? So Alex, if you don't mind, I will say something. We will run a hackathon in 2 weeks, Alex and me, and there will be like 100 people with Lego Serious Play, and we plan to use Drawify to put all the instructions, because with 100 people, even if you explain 3 times the same thing, you need to double check. There will be one person for sure that will not get it, and it's noise or something. So this is how I use it when I'm in a face-to-face. But of course, also drawing by hand and so on. If it's a hybrid, then of course it's useful to have somebody who is connecting with the people in Miro and bring them, let's say, on the same page with the other people. I hope this answers. If not, as I said, you can contact us. Can you use Drawify? Yes, this we showed. It can be used directly in Miro.
Yep.
Again, I saw some comments that you cannot use it in your corporate. I'm also working and not only a freelancer, but also in a big bank in a corporate. And it was also the same topic. And I just requested and they get it, like get the security okay for it. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, we are checked on security, and they do a very serious check at Miro security. So by the way, Miro, I can answer that one. We are talking to Miro. We are talking with them. So we hope it will be an integration. Next to Miro on the agenda this year, there is Google Slides, and there is at least PowerPoint, and maybe also, who knows, Canva. And maybe a few others that are in the pipeline, but it depends a little bit on several criteria.
Nice. Thank you, Axel.
Yeah.
Are all the little drawings already drawn, or do I have to create them? You want to answer also this?
So all the drawings you have seen were already drawn. So if you're missing some of them, you can ask them. And of course, you can also draw in Miro. If you, I don't know if people do that, but you can also do that. So it's a combination, yeah.
For sure.
And by the way, in the new version of Drawify, you will also be able to draw yourself.
Looking forward. Let's see what's coming out of that. Can you edit Drawify images?
Yeah. So you can
Shall we show?
Yeah. Yeah. You can change colors and you can recreate. So you can make new compositions. That's basically the most important thing. Apart from changing the colors maybe to the branding colors, you can also recompose drawings to create a new visual. So you can combine different elements and create your own unique visual.
Yeah. So you have colors, as Axel said, and you can just modify them as you wish with maybe your brand colors. So you have also this template here. You can reuse them, modify and add images. There are very, very nice ones that I saw in the strategy and so on. So like a lot of options I can add to that. I'm playing a lot lately with it. How to set up a guideline for all the participants to further use or concretize the visualization after the meeting. I think it's important to end the meeting with some action steps. For example, if you did a voting or decision point, it's also important to commit upon them. Like, okay, now we decided upon that. What is the actual outcome out of it? What are the tangible steps that we want to do? You can either collect them and then vote again. You can use different methods, of course. Relevant is to commit and to get an owner. Let's say you have a sticky note and somebody who says, I will do this and this and this, but maybe there are more people involved. So what I like usually to do is to ask for somebody to take the ownership. Doesn't have to do to be the person who really does all the stuff, but is the person who takes care that the things are happening, right? So to get the tangible steps really in real life. And where or how can I get Drawify templates, Axel?
Yeah. So first of all, we are trying to get to put every week one on the Metaverse. So that's just freely available on Miro. Next to that, there are there will be 10 new next week, but there are like 15 free templates on Drawify. So if you go to Drawify, you go to products, you will see templates, and then you can join, you can change the 15 free templates. And then depending on in which plan you are, it goes to more and more templates. So, but yeah, so you can find it on Drawify and then go to product and then templates.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're really lovely and very versatile because you can reuse them in many ways. At least I did so, especially when you want to do something fast. They're very useful. What is Confluence? I'm not sure how this popped up here.
No, me neither. It was in the chat. It was in the chat. I know Confluence is a program from Atlassian, if I'm not mistaken. And someone said to me that I had to contact them, but that's all I know. So I don't know how it came up in the discussion. I don't know.
We have a raised hand, maybe.
Yeah, if I may, it was mentioned in one of the sticky notes, the upper part, when you asked people about how they use visualization, it was one of the answers. So I was wondering, what is that?
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you.
It's an Atlassian product, and it's used, I think, in design for design managers and UX designers and so on.
Yeah. And also in developer areas, because, for example, we are also using it it's like any other, like Asana or any other tool where you want to visualize also your tasks. Of course, it's text, but it's a like Kanban visualization those in Scrum or whatever. And the Confluence is more the documentation. In the Jira, it's more the visualization of the task, just shortly for you to know. Is there some kind of Drawify basics guide?
Well, it's coming. So I know we are for a long time that we want to, there's a YouTube channel where you see small videos, but since we are working for the last 6 months on a new version, we didn't want to do new guides because we're going to change it completely. So there will be new guides very soon in the form of videos where we explain the most important features of Joyfy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How does the facilitator best support those with visual disabilities who cannot engage with Miro visualizations? I think it's important for a facilitator to get to know the audience before you design a session. So if you know that you have persons who cannot see or have other topics that you might want to take in consideration, or even if you have like different languages and some people need a translator. So there are many, let's say, contextual situations where you kind of need to take care when you design a session. You might want to have like a co-facilitator who takes care upon this specific person and kind of like writes for that person and visualizes things for the person, either on a sticky note in real, in person, or in a Miro. Can be also that the facilitator, if the person can talk, is writing for that person. So there are many ways on how to do that. I think most important is to know and to prepare in advance, and maybe to have some backup options in case you don't know in advance on how can you actually include. If you're lucky enough to have a co-facilitator, then of course it's easier to do so.
Yeah, I was recently on a conference, drawing at a conference where they asked the same question, and there they proposed to have, if you didn't have a co-facilitator planned, look for a buddy, someone who wants to team up with that person and make sure that he or she gets involved in every step. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I think we went through all the questions. I'm not sure how many people are still here. Let me just stop sharing. But if you would like, we would still invite you to write in the chat what is the one thing that you want to apply into your next meeting, because we will be very curious about that. A small reflection at the end. And thank you for staying with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It was really interesting. Also to see all your inputs, really insightful for me too.
Thank you. Okay, so I will invite you to write in the chat if you still would like what is the one thing that you would like to do in your next meeting out of this session. And thank you so much for staying.
Thank you a lot.